Hey guys, it's your host of the chomp Daily again. I hope you guys are doing well. As always, I come to you again just with some more Pokemon videos. But I want to do something a little bit more different. I guess just because I've not done really a news video in quite a while. Because for the most part, it's been kind of dry. There's been some leakage from what I heard. I wanted to get some more information on that as well before I did any videos. And really just doing stuff that's outside the box, like, the things that we didn't and do want to see from Legends ZA has really kind of popped off. And again, I appreciate you guys again for the amount of views we have. We're almost 250 subscribers. That's huge. I know for some that doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it is. The feedback you guys are giving me is absolutely phenomenal. And I really look forward just to see this channel grow even more. I mean, the most recent videos have really done really well, and I appreciate the love and support you guys have given me. But before we start with this video, and just make it kind of a quicker video, just so we're not here talking for almost 30 minutes about some fairly quick news, please subscribe. I mean, only about 2% of you that watch are actually subscribed, and I'm starting to get a couple thousand views for my videos, and I'd love to see all those thousands join in. And our new goal right now is 500 subscribers, and I think we'll get there soon enough, especially with how we are growing. But with that being said, let's get into the news today. So the first thing I want to get into is the importance of just real life lore and just how it plays into Legends ZA. I mean, especially when you look at X and Y and ZA all together. And it's really easy to see that, Yveltal, Xerneas, and Zygarde are all based on more Norse mythology. And we're going to be using Soul Silver all this time here, just because this is he's the main one that I get this news from, just most active. So he goes over and says, last year I did a series on Kalos legendaries being tied to Norse mythology, leading to how the A of Legends ZA has Norse, inspirations. And he goes to say, I focused on the animals around, Yggdrasil, which is Tree of Life, but we should also consider a Pokemon form literally based on the Ragnarok, destruction of everything, as well. Before we get into, my family is directly, just connected just to everything Norse. Like, my family comes from deep Sweden. And when I mean deep, meaning most of my family comes from there, Swedish and German are the main thing that makes up my family. And this kind of hits home with me a bit, especially growing up and learning about my heritage through my great-grandma. It's just really, really cool, especially with like the Viking, ancestry that we do actually have after we done our own study, on us, since we sit in for our stuff to come back with the family tree and to show how far it goes back and everything. So just really relating to this is huge, and there's still a lot I'm still learning about my family tree, and just the deep Viking culture that's within it, at least from what they have been able to find. And before we get into this, if you always want to, try to get more in touch with your family, see what you come from, the multiple things you come from, go ahead and do it. Because I can tell you, as someone that's did some more extensive research, especially with even with my great-grandma and grandma being directly from Sweden, it's just been really enriching, just seeing just the diversity and culture that comes with just learning about your ancestry. So, but outside of that, let's just get into this again. ZA equals Z is seeming Zygarde, well, it's seemingly Zygarde, and so naturally we think that the A and Zygarde will clash and are in opposition to one another. Maybe Mega Zygarde could be based on Ragnarok and play the part of the antagonist, or maybe that's the role of another new Mega related to A. Now, I understand that Pokemon ZA, well, Legends ZA, people think it's just because you start off at level Z and go all the way up to A. And sure, that's definitely a big part of the game mechanic, but it's not just that. Especially with how much emphasis that they put on the A, and just a whole bunch of other factors that we've seen within the trailer and what we have had seen from the Pokemon Company and these supposed leaks that go really well with what the Pokemon Company has provided. So, A is going to play a bigger part, you know, the big A. So we're going to see how that goes. And, you know, he goes on saying that Zygarde is apparently based on Jormungandr or Nidhogg, which are both serpents that cause or have a part in Ragnarok. But don't forget the Eternal Flower, Floette's terrifying power, and the signature Light of Ruin move, of course. And of course, we can't forget about the ultimate the ultimate weapon either, in which the sense kind of already represented Ragnarok in X and Y, which it kind of did, because it was the weapon that was going to ultimately destroy everything. And maybe the weapon is the key to another Pokemon, you know, with A. Or maybe it directly turns Zygarde into something else. I feel that Zygarde... I feel that the A is more related to Zygarde the more I think about it. Like, maybe it transforms Zygarde into something else. Maybe it brings out the worst version of Zygarde. Maybe this is where the Ragnarok comes in. Maybe Zygarde becomes Ragnarok because of the A, or whatever we do with that, which I think would be really cool. Then either way, and it says either way, the possibility of a Pokemon being based on Ragnarok and possibility of Yggdrasil kind of blew my mind. We shall see, which we will. And you know, this just there's a whole bunch of photos, especially with the Eternal Flower. And then this is just some of the lore, so if you want to pause the video and read it. I've already had my glimpse of this lore already, just with Norse mythology within the past, just getting connected with my family tree. And I already know the stories. From Yggdrasil to the Giants, the Underworld, just all of it is just stuff that I've already gotten quite familiar with. Now we're going on to leak discussion. Now remember, all leaks should be taken with a grain of salt, and we're going to get into that even more, to where maybe that grain of salt could possibly land us into a lawsuit, supposedly. Which I'm just going to build up the suspense here, because we're going to get into that here soon. But Soul Silver goes on and says, Pokemon leaks discussion highly debated, but a recent leak said the 32 megas could be likely. People just don't understand the 32 megas, in my opinion, but the possibility of having at least 4 unknown megas means we can dream of any Pokemon getting one again. And he wants Spidops. I would personally prefer Weavile, because Weavile's cool, and I think that'd be a really cool design. Like, I really do like that. And then the Spidops not bad. Like it's kind of cool, but this doesn't look like a Mega though. Like, this Spidops does not look like a Mega. It just looks like an evolution that Spidops would turn into. And then like this is like a move. This looks like a Mega. Over exaggerated claws with whatever this is going on here. The gigantic middle finger. He's just ultra flipping us off, I guess. Like, that looks like a Mega. This just looks like an evolution, which I think Spidops would need an evolution more than it would a Mega, because it's such an underwhelming Pokemon. But, you know, there's that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, you know, the 32 are going to be, if it's exactly 32, which I think is very realistic. The next thing is just going on to how he's just talking about the title, you know, and like what the front of the package is really going to look like. They didn't really, reveal the box art. We know it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. But again, it goes on to say, since they revealed the Legend ZA is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, but they didn't reveal the ZA box art or release date, and it wasn't featured at the Treehouse Lives, to me it means ZA info must be soon. On top of this, the game's director has said that news for ZA will release little by little. So it's going to go along, which again, that's very realistic. And he goes on to say, so far we've had ZA news drops every month. Since Pokemon Day, I expect that the trend to continue. So I think we'll get more news in the early weeks of May, which I believe as well. I mean, it just goes on to say we need the box art and release date ASAP for pre-orders. I'm going to pre-order this game rather quickly, and so should you if you can. Like, I am definitely going to highly suggest. I am going to buy both Legends ZA on the Switch and then on the Nintendo Switch 2 because I'm pre-ordering the Nintendo Switch 2, and just because I want to compare the games as we play along, and as I told you guys, I will play the game with you guys on both, and we'll do something different on each one. Maybe for the Nintendo Switch 2, I'll use Totodile, which is my favorite, and then on the Nintendo Switch just itself, I will use Chikorita. I'll let you guys decide within the comments which starter I should use. I prefer Totodile, that's my usually go-to, but I'm not going to do two of the same starters for both games. And then also, he goes on to say this is also very helpful detail. And then this is also true. They have always revealed box art and release dates in May/June, even for Legends Arceus. That released in January. So yes, I would expect the info would be very soon. Yeah, no, this is something that they do as well, which I was going to mention, but I kind of forgot that I had this right here specifically for this segment. So yeah, no, expect this month or next. Like, it's very realistic. And then to the last part, the thing that I have been waiting for is just this weird lawsuit thing going on. So Soul Silver Art says this was a terrifying post to wake up to. It was obviously going to happen to GFO, but hopefully they don't go after more. But basically, no, he says, I basically spent the morning saving beta images from the server, but my camera roll can't handle it at all. I hope there's a place out there where all this has been archived. And then we look at the post, Game Freak leaks. Nintendo is seeking to subpoena Discord. They are looking for any information they can help identify the Game Freak leaker. The Discord user Game Freak Out has been leaking a significant amount of content from Game Freak's internal servers, and we just have like a little statement here. So I think this is kind of huge. I mean, and really with the entire leaks that just came swarming out, there was a whole bunch of drama on it, and I didn't really want to cover it too much as it was just that. It was just drama. I'm not saying that it wasn't a valid concern, especially now that Discord's getting forced into it. But from the looks of it, they were obviously leaking stuff. So if you guys have ever interacted with Game Freak Out, let me know down in the comments. Like, let me know what you know. I mean, I am no snitch, Jesus Christ, but I'm just curious because I've just seen images, and like I've seen like the leaked images of the files that they've sent. So it's not like I've not seen it, but I wouldn't know what your guys' interaction with this individual has been like. Just because it just seems really strange, and just the entire story is just so mishmash. So it's kind of scary to know that that Nintendo's not playing around, and if you're leaking too much, or actually leaking in general, Nintendo's going to come after you. I'm not leaking nothing. I'm just news reporting here. I'm just a news reporter. But for those leaking, please be careful. I mean, I enjoy valid leakers. I enjoy people that go over those leaks, but it's not worth ruining your life over, is what I'm just saying. So just be careful out there when doing this, because technically leaking games can be a legal issue, especially if it's something the company does not want. And Nintendo is not the one to F around with. I mean, you're looking at a company that refused to give the Game Boy Pokemon games onto the Switch, despite having Mystery Dungeon on there. It's, you know, you're looking at games that went on to Roblox and removed any game that was just fan made and based off of their original Pokemon games. Like, these guys, if it's not made by them or not announced by them, they will come after you. You know, they're just a very self-centered company. Like, I love Pokemon, but Nintendo's not as lax as I think that they should. Because if you look at Microsoft and Sony, you know, they're not as serious when they come to this kind of stuff. At least not to this magnitude. Sure, what they're doing may be valid, and I personally believe if they're explicitly leaking so much actual company files, like if it's actually that much, which I'm hearing that there's a lot more than what I've seen, which is believable. I mean, I've seen screenshots of said files leaked, but I'm not saying Nintendo's overreacting here, but I'm just using it as an example that these guys are ruthless. So, just a little PSA, just to be careful, is all. But other than that, that brings us to the end of our little news video. I know I've not done one in a while, like I've said, but just for good reason, because I'm not just going to scrape at the bottom of the barrel. I don't want to be like one of those channels, but I will report news, but I'm going to do quality news. And again, I'm sorry for being gone for the past couple days. I've just been trying to get that bread, you know, in schooling. And plus, I was kind of on a video drought. Like, I was really trying to figure out what to make for you guys. Like, I have a whole bunch of ideas. I'm still trying to get that Twitch up, but I just want to bring quality content. So I am going to try posting a lot more. I know I'm going to post a lot more because I got some shiny hunting videos I want to do. So I want to post within the next day or two. I'm going to constantly do it because I do want to get those shiny hunting videos out. And I'm also getting back into shiny hunting a lot more now. I'm still shiny hunting, but I kind of got burnt out, so I took like a week off from it, and now I'm back at it. So it's like I'll never be done shiny hunting. Like, I'll never be fully burnt out, ever. It's just sometimes when you hunt for so long, you just need to take a break. So with that being said, let me know down in the comments what you think of today's video. Any news that you would like to spread. Let me know what you think about this entire lawsuit that Game Freak's pushed. Like, this is the real coup de grace that I wanted to end this video on, because I find this really interesting. And I really want to see what comes of this. Obviously, what comes of it's not going to be very good, but you know, I like tea. I like knowing the tea. So if you guys know anything, please let me know. But I definitely do look forward to it. So, as always, be a chomp above the rest. Thank you for the support and love, and I hope we grow some more. And talk to you later.